Study in Scarlet. Chapter 1. Mr. Sherlock Holmes. People often ask me how I first met Sherlock Holmes. In the year 1878, I became a surgeon in the army and joined a regiment stationed in India. In 1880, I was struck in the arm by a bullet in Afghanistan. Then, while recovering in hospital, I came down with a fever which left me so weak that the Army Medical Board decided to send me back to England. I ended up in London, where I took up residence in a hotel on the Strand. London is a vast, unfriendly place when you don't know anyone. It's also expensive, and I could barely make ends meet. One day I was sitting in a bar by myself, thinking I should probably find somewhere cheaper to live, when I felt a tap on the shoulder. To my delight, I saw it was Stamford, an old colleague from my days as a hospital doctor. "Where have you been, Dr. Watson?" he cried. "You're as thin as a rake." I told him briefly about my misadventures in the East. "Poor devil," he said. "What are you up to now?"
"Looking for lodgings," I answered, trying to solve the problem as to whether it is possible to get comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. "That's a strange thing," remarked my companion. "And who was the first?" I asked. "A person who works at the chemical laboratory at the hospital was lamenting this morning because he couldn't find anyone to split the rent with him for some nice rooms he had found, which were beyond his means."
"Really?" I exclaimed. "If he really wants someone to share the room and the expenses, I'm the perfect guy for him. I prefer having a roommate to being alone." Stanford looked strangely at me over his wine glass. "You don't know Sherlock Holmes yet," he said, "but you might not like having him around all the time." "Why? Is there something wrong with him?" "I didn't say there was anything wrong. He's just a bit odd in his ideas. He's really into certain areas of science. As far as I know, he's a decent guy." "A medical student, I suppose," I said. "No, I have no idea what he's planning to do. I think he's really good at anatomy and a top-notch chemist. However, as far as I know, he's never taken any formal medical classes. His studies are quite desultory and eccentric, but he has accumulated a lot of out-of-the-way knowledge that would astonish his professors." "Did you ever ask him what he plans to do?" I asked. "No, he's not someone who opens up easily, but when he feels like it, he can be quite communicative.